New this morning, we now know the names of all 17 victims who died in the Ride the Ducks boat. That boat sank on Thursday night at Table Rock Lake during severe weather. The lives lost range in ages from a 1-year-old child to a 76-year-old man, and one family lost 9 relatives. Emily Rittman spoke to grieving friends and family members at a candlelight vigil.
Several of the victims' vehicles are still in the parking lot. They are now covered with flowers, teddy bears, balloons, even candles and messages of love and support. The family members of those victims are dealing with unimaginable grief. Hundreds gathered to pray and solemnly sing. The crowd was filled with heavy hearts, all thinking about the 17 lives lost on Table Rock Lake.
We pray as a community that the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, would guard your hearts and would guard your minds.
Leslie Dennison's 3 sons surrounded her SUV that was covered with acts of kindness. Leslie didn't survive. Her family believes she saved her granddaughter by pushing her to safety.
My niece basically was telling my brother that my mother had picked up my niece and gave her to somebody. When she turned around, Grandma was gone.
Friends of victims Bill Asher and Rose Heyman drove from St. Louis to pay their respects. The couple, whose SUV is also covered with mementos, volunteered to help veterans as members of the Staff Sergeant Ron Bazikis Memorial Organization.
She loved her veterans, and I'm going to miss her so bad. I love her dearly. We talk every day, and we never hung up without saying I love you. She was just a wonderful person also. He was one heck of a guy. He was a very, very good, kind soul.
Right now, we're in a time to mourn.
The loved ones of all 17 victims are struggling to cope with the sudden loss. They're missing their family and friends.
Oh, tremendously. For the rest of our days, we have great memories. And to hold on to those memories is what counts, and tell everyone. Because you don't know what next tragedy hits.
Take a moment and hang on to your loved ones.
The friends and family members we spoke to tell us they are heartbroken and just overcome with grief. They are just beginning the very beginning steps of the grieving process. Reporting from Branson, Emily Rittman, KCTV5 News.
And this morning, we are hearing more from people who knew the victims of the boat accident.
It's just going to be hard over the next couple of months to come to grips with why.
Rose Hammond and William Asher were both from St. Louis. Friends say the couple was inseparable, traveling, dancing, and just enjoying each other's company. They also say the couple would host annual luau-themed parties at their home.
Bill was such an integral part of the community here. He knew everybody. He was always happy, always had a smile, always willing to help out. That's by far the fondest memory.
Earlier this week, Rose shared a happy post about celebrating her birthday with William. Now, people who watched the tragedy unfold are deeply shaken. Mike Pedersen was on board the Branson Belle, a dinner theater showboat. He says the captain warned of a storm coming and was turning back. 10 minutes later, he saw smaller boats struggling with the high waves. The next thing he knew, he was part of the rescue effort.
Just a bunch of visitors just jumped to it, came down there. There were a couple of really brave guys. Amazing.
The Branson Belle crew and an off-duty sheriff's deputy also helped with that rescue. The 31 people on the duck boat included the ship captain and the driver. The captain survived, the driver did not. Following the tragedy, Ripley Entertainment, the parent company of Ride the Ducks, says in a statement, "This incident has deeply affected all of us. Words cannot convey how profoundly our hearts are breaking." Finding out what caused the duck boat to sink will not be a quick process. Investigators with the National Transportation Safety Board say the investigation could take a year to complete, but they expect to have a preliminary report in about a month. Missouri Senator Claire McCaskill canceled an appearance in Lee Summit and went to Branson instead. She met with local leaders and the Red Cross. McCaskill says they told her about everything they've experienced the past 24 hours. She says,
"That's when I really got sick, because that's when you start hearing stories about the families and about notifying the next of kin and about the children that have survived without their families. And that is what is really tough.
Senator McCaskill says she and Senator Blunt will be working to introduce laws to make these types of vehicles safer. She says she plans to introduce new regulations as early as next week. This is obviously a story we'll be tracking for some time as we learn more about the lives lost on that boat. For continuing coverage, you can always go to our website on case2b5.com or our free news app.